The year is 09 AD. The Roman Empire, a juggernaut of military might and engineering, stretches from the sun-scorched sands of Syria to the misty shores of Britannia. Its legions are the most disciplined, best-equipped fighting force the world has ever known. They are masters of the open field, creators of order from chaos. But here, in the dark, suffocating forests of Germania Magna, the rules are different. The very air is hostile, the trees themselves feel like an enemy, and the ground underfoot is a treacherous morass of mud and roots. For 3 legions, this will be their grave. 4 years, the Roman general Publius Quinctilius Varus has governed this new province of Germania. He's a seasoned administrator, but perhaps too accustomed to the predictable politics of the East. He sees the Germanic tribes as disorganized, fractious, and ultimately conquerable. He levies heavy taxes, imposes Roman law, and treats the proud tribal chieftains with a thinly veiled contempt. He believes he has broken their spirit. He is fatally mistaken. Among his inner circle is a man named Arminius. To Varus, he is a trusted ally, a prince of the Carusi tribe, a Roman citizen, and commander of a Germanic auxiliary cavalry unit. Arminius grew up in Rome, learned its language, its culture, and most importantly, its military tactics. He understands the legion's strengths, but he also knows its weaknesses. And all the while he has been smiling in Varus's face, a cold, patient hatred has been burning in his heart. He is the architect of a conspiracy, a grand deception years in the making. While Varus enjoys the comforts of his summer camp on the Weser River, Arminius secretly unites the tribes. The Carusi, the Marsi, the Chatti. The Bructera fierce rivals who would normally be at each other's throats are brought together by a shared desire to drive the eagle standards of Rome from their ancestral lands forever. They know they cannot face the legions on open ground. That would be suicide. Arminius has a different plan, a trap. The forest will be his weapon. As Otam approaches, Varus prepares to march his legions, the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th, along with auxiliary units and a massive baggage train of civilians and servants back to their winter quarters. On the Rhine, just as they are about to depart, a report, carefully orchestrated by Arminius, arrives. A minor tribe to the west has risen in rebellion. It's a small matter, a trifle. Arminius advises Varus to take a short detour to crush the uprising quickly and make an example of them. This detour, he explains, will take them through a shortcut in the Teutoburg forest. Varus, overconfident and blind to the betrayal unfolding before his very eyes, agrees. He trusts Arminius. Why wouldn't he? Arminius will ride ahead with his auxiliary cavalry, he says, to scout the way and rally local support. It is the last time Varus will see his friend alive as an ally. The moment Arminius disappears into the trees, he is no longer a Roman officer. He is the avenging spirit of Germania. The Roman column stretches for miles, a glittering serpent of steel and leather trying to force its way through a dark, primeval world. The path Arminius chose is no Roman road. It's a narrow, muddy track hemmed in by dense forest on one side and an impassable swamp on the other. A cold, driving rain begins to fall, turning the ground into a quagmire. The heavy wagons get stuck, the column concertinas, and discipline begins to fray. The legionaries, encumbered by their heavy armor and shields, struggle for every step. They are strung out, vulnerable, and completely blind to what awaits them. On the high ground, hidden behind an earthen rampart built in secret, thousands of Germanic warriors watch and wait. They are a terrifying, sight-huge men, their bodies painted with symbols of war, armed with long spears called framia, wicked clubs, and short, single-edged swords. They are not a disciplined army like the Romans, but a force of pure, primal fury, perfectly at home in this terrain. They listen to the squelch of Roman sandals in the mud, the curses of the officers, the creak of wagon wheels. They wait for the signal from Then it begins. Not with a battle cry, but with a sudden, horrifying shower of javelins and spears from the tree line. The missiles rain down on the exposed Roman flank. Shields, designed for frontal assault, offer little protection. Men scream and fall, confusion turning to panic. The disciplined Roman lines dissolve into a chaotic scrum. Centurions shout orders that are lost in the storm and the rising din of battle. Before the Romans can even form a defensive line, the forest itself seems to explode. Warriors pour down the slopes, a wave of ferocious energy crashing into the disordered column. The fighting is brutal, personal, and utterly savage. This isn't the clean, methodical warfare of the open field. This is a desperate, claustrophobic brawl for survival in the mud and rain. The Roman gladius, a short sword deadly in close formation, is less effective when a soldier can't find solid footing or room to maneuver. The Germanic warriors, with their longer spears, have the advantage, striking from the shadows, melting back into the trees, and attacking again from another direction. The first day is a massacre. The Romans are bled white, but they are not broken yet. That night, what's left of the column manages to form a makeshift camp. The wounded lie groaning in the dark. The rain never stops, and the terrifying war cries of the Germans echo from the surrounding forest, promising a new dawn of horror. Varus holds a desperate council of war. Their only hope is to abandon the heavy baggage train and press on, trying to break out into open country. The second day is a running battle, a slow, agonizing retreat through a gauntlet of death. The column is constantly harassed. Every clearing is a potential ambush. Every grove of trees hides a new enemy. The cohesion of the legions, their greatest strength, is gone. It's every man for himself. The Roman cavalry, trapped in the dense forest, is useless and cut to pieces. Officers are targeted and brought down, and with their fall, entire cohorts collapse into terrified mobs. Arminius is everywhere, a phantom of vengeance, directing the attacks, exploiting every weakness, never allowing the Romans a moment's rest. He knows how a centurion thinks, how a legionary reacts to fear. He uses their own training against them, turning their predictability into a fatal flaw. For the Roman soldiers, this must have felt like a living nightmare. Their enemy was the mud, the rain, the trees, and the ghostly figures that darted between them, striking and vanishing. By the third day, the situation is hopeless. The remaining Romans are exhausted, starving, and demoralized. They make a final, desperate stand near a hill known as Calcra. Here, the Germans have constructed their most formidable rampart, blocking the Romans' path completely. Trapped between the wall and the swamp, the last vestiges of the 17th, 18th, and 19th legions are cornered. The final assault is a slaughter. There is no quarter given. The Germans, inflamed with victory and years of resentment, swarm the beleaguered Romans. Varus, seeing that all is lost, does what many Roman commanders would do in his position. He falls on his own sword, choosing suicide over the humiliation of capture. Many of his senior officers follow his example. For the common soldiers, there is no such escape. They are cut down where they stand. The eagle standards of the three legions, the sacred symbols of their honor and Rome's power, are captured. The ultimate disgrace. The battle is over. The forest falls silent, littered with the bodies of over 20,000 Roman soldiers and civilians. Germania has been cleansed in blood. The news of the disaster sent shockwaves through the Roman Empire. When the Emperor Augustus heard, he was said to have banged his head against the wall, crying out, "Quintalius, Varus, give me back my legions." The loss was so profound, so psychologically damaging, that the numbers of the lost legions, 17, 18, and 19, were never used again. Rome would launch punitive expeditions. They would recover 2 of the lost eagles, but they would never again attempt to make Germania a province. The Rhine became the permanent frontier of the empire in the north. The Battle of the Teutoburg Forest was more than just a military defeat. It was a defining moment in European history. It was the day the forest fought back, the day a confederation of barbarian tribes, led by a man who knew his enemy inside and out, halted the relentless advance of the world's greatest superpower. Arminius secured the independence of the Germanic peoples, and in doing so, shaped the future of a continent. It stands as a chilling testament to the fact that no empire is invincible, and that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one you believe to be your friend. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the dark forests of ancient Germania. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the epic battles that shaped our world. Let me know in the comments what piece of history you'd like to explore next. Until then, stay curious.